What's up, family? Welcome to another exciting episode of Rappers in My Backyard, the podcast that stays lit. We rap about relationships, music, and entertainment. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope that you had a week that was filled with moving forward, fantastic thoughts, and looking forward to voting in 2020. Today's topic is our relationship with falling in love. And on the grill today, we are going to have Vote 2020. What do Black women want? And also, you guys know I love setting up every episode with a great quote that sets the groundwork for an amazing conversation. So here's the quote. I wish falling in love had traffic lights too, so that I would know if I should go for it, slow down, or just stop. And that quote comes from Love Quote Messages. And that sets us up nicely to talk, express, relate, connect with our special guest today. The beautiful Kelly Morgan is in the backyard. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, how are you guys?
Absolutely great today. How about you?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. It's my birthday, so
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank
Oh,
you.
man. So, I'm really feeling real good about my chances today, being that it's your birthday and you decided to spend it with us. I'm overwhelmed.
Oh, so sweet.
Thank you for that. So, Kelly, let's kick this discussion off. I've been waiting for the opportunity to talk to your lovely spirit. And first thing I want to know, what you been up to?
Well, I've been, working on my craft, kind of just, building my relationship with God, writing new music, and about to put myself right back out there. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Yeah, that sounds like you have hit all the what we should be up to buttons. You know what I mean? You hit
Yeah.
on God, you hit on recreation, and you hit on strength. So those three things, I think you're in pretty good shape to do all the great things that you're trying to do right now.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to dig a little deeper so that we can progress on our conversation because you've done some amazing things in this industry. And I know a lot of people tune into the show and they may not be familiar. So I want to lay a little bit of the groundwork for them so that they can understand what a dynamic artist and individual that you are. So I wanted to ask you, how did you turn being bullied into songwriting and music?
Yes, I just remember that feeling of just, I would go home, I would start crying, I would try to, straighten my hair to fit in and stuff like that. But I decided one afternoon, like, I'm not going to turn like the bullies. I'm going to channel this into something great. You know what I mean? So I just started expressing myself, writing and writing and writing, and I've just been writing ever since. So instead of turning bitter, I just turned to music and songwriting, and it really helped me. It really did.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a really good concept because a lot of the young people right now are being bullied through social media. We got a lot of suicides this year, especially because of that bullying type things, and also with our young people not being able to go outside or do anything this year. I think the combination between being bullied and not being able to move have collided in a way like never before. And we
Yeah,
just
because oh, sorry. I'm
no
sorry.
go ahead, definitely.
I just feel like, a part of that element also is just when we're home, and even at night, we're surrounded by our thoughts. That's why
Yeah.
at night is kind of hard for, because you're thinking of everything that's has happened in your life or even that day. So when you know how they say joy comes in the morning. So when
Yes.
we're still inside morning and night, it's kind of like, it's kind of sometimes it's hard to deal with for, some people to deal with their thoughts. So,
Yeah, definitely. And when you spend time by yourself, that's when you have time to think about your life really. And I think that might be a reason why we're dealing with a lot of mental health issues, because it's like we've been put on timeout in a sense. And so we're only left with our thoughts and the things that have occurred in our past and our circumstances,
yes, yes.
you know. So I really love your motto, big dreams and a big heart to follow. Explain to us what that means to you and how'd you come up with it? Because it's awesome.
Thank you so much. I came up with it because I feel like dreams, you know what I mean? You think of big when you think of dreams. You think of, you want to be great. You want to have, you want to do great things in life. So you think of big dreams and my heart, you know what I mean? I have a big heart. Like some people say I'm too nice, but that's just how that's how I naturally am. And so I was just like, you know what? I'm a girl. Like I have big dreams and I have a big heart. So why not big dreams and a big heart to like follow, and I
Hmm.
live by that, so yeah.
I really, really love that because to me, the two go hand in hand. You can't have a dream without a great heart, you
Yes.
know, because it just takes so many people, and you can attest to this, to make you who you ultimately want to become, to help you see that vision of yourself. And also, you need to dream in order to get yourself out of your circumstances in a way that gives you that courage. Just like you used your songwriting and your artistry to overcome bullying, those same sort of concepts have to continually be placed in our lives so that we can continue to overcome whatever's placed in front of us. So, that to me, big dreams and a big heart to follow is something that we really need, because our dreams is what puts focuses puts allows us to focus on a vision.
Yes.
So I just think that's profound. It says motivation to me.
Yes. Thank you.
So how long you been in the business, Kelly?
Yes, when I was 7, well, that's when I decided I wanted to be a professional singer. But when I started like actually professional singing, I want to say like at 18, I started at 18, so I'm 22 now. So maybe like I think that's 4 years. 4 years,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Jeez, I mean, in the 4 years, you have really had an opportunity to move around and just do some amazing things that I think a lot of artists don't have the opportunity, to get an opportunity to even have exposure to. So kudos to you
thank
with
you.
because of your great personality and amazing spirit. That's how we move around in this business. It's relationships. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
mhm, I agree.
And speaking of relationships, we gotta shout out Marcus for hooking
Yes.
us up.
Shout out to Marcus Wildstyle. He's really amazing, and he has his company Wildstyle Entertainment, and I'm all for what he's doing. So yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, shout out to Marcus. And thank you so much, Marcus, for keeping us entertained regardless of a pandemic or a shutdown or a do over. You always bless us with the best talent out there. So thank you so much. And shout out to Wild Style Entertainment. I love him. I love him. So let's talk about how your record Unhidden came together.
Oh, yes. So I was actually on this show called Showtime at the Apollo with Steve Harvey. And, 1 minute the crowd was like, cool, you know what I'm saying? But then it like I hit a bad note and it turned and then they got back on my side again. So it was kind of like, like a roller coaster. And when
Mm-hmm.
I got off the stage, the next day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a song about dreams and you know what I mean? And people saying that you can't do something when you can do something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can if you put in the work and all these things, you can do it. And that's what made me want to write the song Unhidden, to also speak to the kids who are bullied, the people who feel like they're not good enough or they don't believe in their dreams. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? This is real for me. I'm going to write about it. And that's how I came about Unhidden.
I love that record because, it just speaks to lending courage in your insecurity.
Yes.
And it also gives a side of a circumstance, and the way that you handle those circumstances. So I just feel like the title is perfect and the lyrics, I mean, they just play so well together to make this song just really make. I know when I listened to it, I was just like, you know what, I'm ready to go full expression now on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So, oh my goodness, that is nicely done. So, I got to ask you, how was Showtime on the Apollo with Steve Harvey? Like,
well,
tell me about that thing.
I mean, the experience, if anything, was a learning experience. I got to meet a lot of great people. I got to see the wall. Like, there's the wall backstage at the Apollo,
Okay.
and it has like all these celebrities' names. They sign their names on the wall. So when I'm seeing like Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson, I'm like, oh my God, these like legends performed here before, and I was honored with the opportunity. And if like I said, if anything, I learned from it, and it's bringing me, well, brought me to be a better artist. So yeah.
Yeah. So, let me ask you this. So, before you performed, did you rub on the stump for good luck?
Yes, yes, I did rub on the stump, and I was just like, and I prayed. I always pray before I go out there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that, yeah, I did.
That
I
is
did.
so awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
to be able to, as an artist, get on a Showtime at Apollo and be able to get that instant reaction from the audience. Just like you said, it's just like momentum. You said at one point that they seemed like they wasn't really feeling you. And then through you saying, you know what, y'all gonna feel me today. And you just kept working with it and, rolling with it. And then they decided, you know what, Kelly Morgan ain't playing right now. So we need to get on her side of this thing. So that's the
Yeah.
way you do it, Kelly. Kudos to you.
Thank you, because that crowd is
Oh,
woo.
I know you didn't want the Sandman to come over there with the broom and
Woo!
start shooing you off.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And the funny thing about that whole thing, I want to ask you, do you think they should bring the show back?
I think they should, because I feel like it's a part of the Apollo. You know what I mean? Just like it's kind of going on since the 90s, and then, they brought it back to Fox for a little while. I feel like they should. I think it gives artists platforms to be able to see what they need to work on, and you know what I mean? And or keep doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I think it's a great, like, yeah, I think it's great to get audience feedback, and, it's a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's nothing like the audience feedback. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just gives you that momentum and that confidence sometimes that you need, to get up there in front of everybody and do your thing. I also think, though, Kelly, and you let me know what you think about it. you know, you being a younger artist, and now a lot of the things that we're doing and dealing with is all through social media, you know, so you don't get a chance to meet the artist in the same way. The artist gets to kind of spoon feed you what they want you to eat versus
Yes.
when you're on an Apollo or those type of shows, we're more so as the audience in the driver's seat. So we can kind of help craft the artists in a way so at least they know what they're dealing with in the real world as far as what they're offering.
Right, right. I definitely do agree with that. I feel like it is spoon fed, like, and that's just what Instagram and Facebook and all these social media platforms are. They highlight, your highlights in life. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? They don't see the days where you're like, oh man, or, whatever. It's just a highlight reel of our life. So I do agree that it is spoon fed with, whatever we want you guys to see at times.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that just puts a lot of pressure on you as an artist because then that means you can't walk around and live your regular life if we're waiting for Kelly Morgan to always jump out of a limousine, you know, with her makeup on just whipped. You know, I don't I don't think it pays, you know, it pays to paint such an elaborate picture, you know, when there's no reality involved.
Exactly, exactly. I feel like, for example, if I went to a karaoke performance, I'm gonna dress like karaoke, you know what I mean? Versus if it was a performance, of course I'll dress up with, makeup and the whole, nine. But if I'm going to a karaoke performance, I'm just gonna dress like, it's karaoke.
Yeah, yeah, as you should. And I just think that question sets us up nicely to go to the grill. Let the flames go. Let the flames glow. Let them go. Oh my goodness. So, Kelly, I really wanted to throw on the grill today. Vote 2020. What do Black women want? And I actually did some research. They did a whole survey in Essence magazine about what Black women want this year for their 2020 vote. So, what I wanted to do, Kelly, in reference to you, being that you're a young individual, a young, beautiful Black woman, and have a discussion with you about what do you think about some of these issues that they say should be at the top of the voting list as far as our concerns as Black women. Sound like a plan?
Yes, sounds like a plan.
All right. So, the first thing, according to Essence Magazine, they did a survey of over 1,000 women and they
Mhm.
asked them what are the topics of their concern to get out to the polls to vote for. And the first thing that they had was criminal justice and police reform. So let's talk about that.
Whew. Um,
I'm with you.
I think we want to see a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. We are, I just think as women, I know me with having a brother and having a father and having a husband, it's just nerve-wracking to me on a daily minute by minute basis that I'm concerned about them going to the store, going to the gas station, mailing a letter, going to the mailbox. I mean, just the simple things in life. You know, it just seems like the killings that we have gone through of our Black men within the last 4 years have just been horrific.
Yeah, it's really sad. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like we should have the same privilege to walk outside or, or to, drop our kids off or, what everyday life. I think we should have that fair chance as well. We shouldn't have to live in fear like, oh no, I'm scared, if the police stop me, oh man, not this again. I think we want to see a change. It's 2020. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So something has to give. And I do agree with, we want to see a difference in police brutality. It's just, it needs to stop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It has.
Because it has to stop. And again, that's why I wanted to talk about Vote 2020, because I know a lot of people in our culture, don't feel that their vote matters. And I think that that has more to do with us doing a little bit more homework to understand how society was put together, because that is the game. This voting in your president and your mayor and your city council, this is the way the world was designed. So, in order for us to be a part of it and feel the change that we need, we got to participate in the process, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And just think about all of the things when we come together as a collective, what we can get done. It's been,
Yeah,
I mean, look at what Martin Luther King and all the other great leaders did when we came together. You know what I mean? And I
yeah.
feel like your vote matters. So why not just vote? You know what I mean? Just vote,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Just vote. That's simple. And the second thing that Black women want this year in reference to the vote is health care.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, when we talk about health care, it's just so heavy on my heart, because I just think as a Black woman, for instance, we do a lot of self medicating. Like if we get a headache, oh, let me just take an Advil, you know,
Hmm.
or we are overwhelmed with things and we feel maybe our heart might be beating faster. So again, we might say, oh, let me sit down for a minute or take a nap instead of going to the hospital to see what these things are. You know, I
Yeah.
think that we're just overcome with a lot of issues within our daily lives with trying to help our Black men, with trying to ourselves get our voices heard, and then on top of that, trying to take care of ourselves in an environment that just doesn't see us the same.
Exactly, exactly. And I want to give a prime, example of that. My grandmother was that woman. She always would self-medicate when she would, have heart problems or whatever. She'd be like, "No, I'm just gonna take a nap," and things like that. And she was just so afraid to deal with that part of healthcare, to where in the end, I feel like she should have done that, and she probably
Mm-hmm.
still would have been, here.
Yeah.
But I do definitely agree with, I do agree with that. Health is important. Health is literally, it sounds cliche, but health is really wealth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, if you don't feel healthy, you're not gonna want to do anything.
Yeah, I don't see how you can do anything when you're not healthy,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be based on wealth. It should be based on exactly what it is in health. And it should be number one and not number 10,018 on this list that the United States has us on, especially with the current president. So,
Man.
yeah. The
Woo.
third thing, Kelly, is rise in hate crimes and racism in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
Um,
are we at with that?
you know, I feel like we need to work better as a, how do I put this? We need to work better as a country. We're all human. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, we're all human. We should not be looking at each other like, oh, people being against like Black Lives Matter and like racism, like it's still happening. Like, for example, when this George Floyd thing happened, and everyone was just like, oh, because he's Black, he has a criminal background, like, like he deserved to die, like, and he didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because that's not fair, but if it was a white man, I feel like it would have been looked at a little different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think, I don't like racism. I don't like it at all. And I feel like if you're going to be a leader, of this country, like, you shouldn't be trying to divide us. You should be, you know what I mean? Trying
Yeah.
to I don't know. It's so frustrating, you know?
I know it is. I know it is. And like I said, what I'm trying to do, Kelly, is just talk to as many people as we possibly can about it, because we got to have a conversation about it. As hurtful as it is, but it's like we're not getting any closer to our goals by not talking about it,
I
you
agree.
know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I mean, the battle of racism began during slavery. That's when we were learned, that's when the society learned that we was good at all things. Our hands, our feet, we're great runners, we look good. My skin is looking great. I age well. After
Yeah.
all of these things were found out on the slave ship, we have been held to that degree ever since, and this has to stop right now. I don't think we have another 4 years to contemplate what we
No.
want to look like in society. Enough is a freak enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, if you're gonna lead this country, you know what I mean? Don't be a part of the problem. Fix the problem. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Don't
yeah.
don't encourage this like when he yeah.
Yeah. So you're in the next generation, Kelly. So I'm sure you guys are going to rise up, because I can just hear the frustration in your voice. I can just hear your mind working overtime on how you can contribute and lend your voice to such a cause. And, like I said, I am really, really going to be pushing every freaking time I have a chance to have a mic in front of me for us to go out there and vote and make a change so that we can rearrange the way that we perceived in society and the way we get down in society, period. You know?
Yeah, I agree because, voting, and that's like what you said, some people feel like their voice isn't heard, but I feel like, come on, sometimes you just have to try. You have to get up and go and vote, and at least say, I voted for who I believe, you know, who I believe the most, out of the two candidates, this is what I believe more, and this is what I'm standing for, and I'm going to vote, and that's how my voice is going to be heard. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
open
makes
your platform.
perfect sense. Perfect sense. And the last thing is the equal rights and equal pay for Black women.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's like it's frustrating too because it's just like, okay, if I'm doing the same exact job that you're doing, or if I'm doing it overtime, how am I not being paid as much as you're being paid? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like we're doing the same exact thing. The only thing is I'm a woman, you know?
That's
So,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Like
Mhm.
we don't need our money. And I wanted to share with you, Kelly, I was taking a course on this groundwater project where they did a study looking at it from racism from the opposite standpoint. And like a Black woman that has an Ivy League degree, like from Princeton or some university like that, equates 2% above a white woman with a high school diploma, no college education. And then somebody like myself who has a higher education, but not necessarily from a Princeton, I equate to a white woman with no college education at all. So that's the problem, because I spent money to go to college, right? So that
Yeah.
I can put myself in a better spot to be able to get hired and get the pay that I deserve for the work I've put into my experience. But what's happening is we're not getting those salaries. So I'm spending the money to get a higher salary. But when I get in the workspace, I'm not getting that higher salary. I'm getting the same salary as a white woman with no education at all besides high school. So see, the set is already in, because if I'm not getting a job that I'm getting enough money, I'm not going to be able to pay off the school loan that I invested in to be able to get that bigger job.
And I feel like that's the setup. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yes.
they set it up like that for a reason. Because when you see like black women in power, like Oprah and, even Beyonce running her own company, doing her own thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's just kind of like they always try to find something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To bring them down. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, I think it's very unfair too that your higher education is equivalent to a white woman who just graduated high school. That doesn't, you know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. And I feel like it's
Right.
that way.
But it's so, I mean, it was alarming for me, Kelly. I just had to think about it for a minute, just like, wow. Because what they're trying to figure out, Kelly, is to form a discussion also to white people on how imperative it is for them to join the fight with us, with equal pay and equal rights in the workplace and just throughout society. Because one half of the boat can't be sinking, and you're just on the half that hasn't sunk yet. Because we're all on the same boat.
Right.
So right now, here is us. I'm getting all wet, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sneakers are soaked. And there they are at the tip of the boat looking down at us. But just know that the boat is eventually going to tip that side too, as you continue to kill us on this other side. It
Right.
doesn't balance the boat. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the issue.
And that's the thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to be that person. If you're on this top of the boat, you have to
Mm-hmm.
sometimes come down, and you know what I mean? You have to mediate sometimes to to help coexist, you know what I mean? Or either one thing or another, the boat is going to go down, you're going down too. Maybe
Yeah.
this side might go down before, but you're still going down too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just not a one man issue. It's a issue that, like I said, back to the collective, that we all need to get on board to try to, see that change we want to see. You know what I mean? And you have to be the
Yes.
change too. You have to,
Yeah.
you know,
Not
yeah.
phone it in. We need to be on the front line this year, Kelly. And
Yes.
with that, you summed it up so nicely that we got to be on the front line. We got to get involved, and we got to spread the word to everybody we know and love. So, you guys, take somebody to the polls with you. Talk to the young people about doing it digitally, online, mail it in, whatever the case may be. Do your research, because you do have a place in this victory that we need to make this year for 2020. And with that, Kelly, we burnt it and we served it, and now y'all eat it. Take it off the grill. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, man. So let's get back to the light, man, because that just sounded like we was just in a hole. Hollering, Kelly, pull me up. So let's get back to these questions. So, Kelly, you have done so much to expose your talents. So, tell us what you have learned from your experiences. Apollo, the bullying, the mantras that you've come up with, that the big heart will follow, and all of those things. Tell us what you have learned from those experiences.
I've learned that, you have to always, keep God first and believe in yourself. Another thing I've learned is, instead of those situations could have made me a victim, but I said no. I looked at it as a victor standpoint. You know what I mean? Um, just the way, like, if the way I write a song, or the way that, I handle a situation, or whatever the case may be. What I learned in all of that was perseverance. You got to persevere. You know what I mean? At the end of that hard work, and everything that comes with it, eventually you will get there if you put in the work. I've learned that so many times. You have to put in the work, and I believe it'll come to you. It'll come to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But that's the way things do come to you is by the work, by the experience,
yes.
by using your circumstances to motivate you to what you want to become versus holding you back and making you believe that you're something that wasn't a choice of your own.
Right.
So I really, really love that analogy, the way that you put that. So, how did your single I Want to Fall in Love come together? It's such a beautiful song. And I want to fall in love again, Kelly, with everything, with life, with liberty, with happiness, with
Yeah.
structure, with God, with everything. So, talk to us about how that came together.
Yes. When I started writing I Want to Fall in Love, I was actually talking about my love for music. It's crazy, but all I did was literally just throw in baby and all different, like lovey-dovey words to make it more of a, relationship song. But in general, I was really talking about my love for music. Like, I'm really worried about what people got to say and stuff. It was really about the music. So I was
Mm-hmm.
happy I was able to transform that, into like a love song, by adding, different words and stuff like that. But that's how it came about. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh gosh, who did you work on production with on that?
Yes, his name is Abel Beats. He's a producer out of New York City, and he
Oh,
killed that. Oh my God, he killed
he
that beat.
killed
Like,
that.
when I heard it, I said, "Oh, this is it. Like, I have to write to this." And yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
And your voice just works so well with the track. It was like making love
Oh,
visually.
yeah,
The way that lyrically and musically it came together so nice. I could feel your yearning for wanting to fall in love again, as hard as you did the first time. So,
yes, yes. Like, and it was so fun. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna just have fun. I'm gonna have
uh
fun.
and you
Yeah.
did. I love it. I love it. And I just think that it sets us up nicely for the topic today, which what is, in your opinion, what is our relationship with falling in love?
Yeah, I think first you have to love yourself to be able to love someone else. You know what I mean? Because I feel like once you do that, you yearn just naturally. We want people to love us as much as we love them. You know what I mean? That's our
Yeah.
heart saying, like, thank you for accepting me. Thank you for loving me for who I am. Like, I feel like that's the relationship with love. We just want someone who mirrors us as well sometimes. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I just think it's so timely now because it is really about the self-love that we have right now that's going to champion us through to the next moment. So we got to fall in love again with ourselves and
Mhm.
our misconceptions of things and fall in love with humanity again
Yeah.
because like you said, Kelly, it's really going to take all of us to be able to put forth any change. It really, really and truly does.
Yeah, because love, I feel like, is a universal language. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why sometimes in general love songs kind of do better than, like hate songs or stuff like that, is because I feel like we all can relate to love. We love love, and that's why I love the Be the Change songs, and just, those Greatest Love of All. All those songs are, they all have a message and it's love. So.
Yeah, yeah. And I love love, just like I'm a lover of humanity, and I
Mhm.
know that love definitely overcomes any and every obstacle that I've ever encountered. So I think strongly that, in my opinion, our relationship with falling in love right now is very questionable in terms of what we're falling in love with. You see what I mean? I
Yes,
think we're
ma'am.
falling in love with perceptions and slogans and pop ups and things like that. And not a lot of people aren't using this time to do the work on that inner self, the one that allows you to project to the world who you are, and that you're inclusive and positive with what you're putting forth out in the world.
Yeah, because I feel like in this time, in life and stuff like that, I feel like everything's so instant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's quick. It's microwave, like, oh, that person, they have a good look. I'm in love. Like it's so like, you know what I mean? Without even knowing the person, you have
Yeah.
to yeah, it's crazy. But, I still believe there's some people who, like you said, love humanity, love themselves, love God, just love is the answer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's cliche, but like love is literally like the answer. Yeah.
Yeah, it is all the time. So, Kelly, I know you love to perform. So, during this pandemic, what you been up to? Like how you been keeping your skill set as far as a performer going?
Yes, I've been honestly, I've just been doing like vocal lessons, watching the greats, the people before me, you know what I mean? Writing a whole bunch of songs. Just, like just falling back in love with the process and, getting development, just all these things that you do behind the scenes anyway. But this time it's like I have more time to like really like put myself into that and 100%. I always put myself, let me clarify that. I always put 100% into it. I do. But this time it was just like, you know what I mean? Like I had more time to be able to do it longer, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, really, Kelly, this is the smartest thing that you could have done, because instead of allowing your mind to take you places that you don't want to go, this is a
Yeah.
good time to use this time out and work on those things that you can brush up. Not necessarily you, but us, we can, brush up on while we're going through what we're going through. Because this thing is going to turn back on like a light. And those who were working, like you said, are going to be able to jump back in it and get back on and get their car on the road. And for those that was using this time to be caught up in it, are
Yeah.
going to not be ready when it's time for that opportunity to present itself. So,
Exactly, and time is, you know what I mean? Despite the pandemic, I mean, yeah, pandemic, time is valuable, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, I think it's a little more valuable than money because once time is gone, that's it, you know what I mean? I
yeah,
mean, of course we have more time, but not all the time in, the world. So, you know, you want to
yeah,
make sure
but
you're being productive during
yeah,
time.
yeah. And this is just a good time because whenever we take self inventory of ourselves, we're able to go to a new territory, you
Yes,
know? So that is what we're trying to do. So, Kelly, how can we follow your movement? You got a website, you be on Instagram. Where can we keep up with your beautiful artistry and all the great places you're going forward to?
yes, I have an Instagram. It's iKellyMorgan. Website is coming soon. New music coming soon. My YouTube is Kelly Morgan, Facebook Kelly Morgan, Spotify Kelly Morgan. So you can definitely find me there, and I'll try to get back to you. I try to get back to every single person. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I know I'm for sure am going to continue to fall in love with you, Kelly Morgan,
Aw.
because there's nothing better than to have the opportunity to meet an artist that has humbled themselves to the point of being able to just give motivation, love, direction, and beautiful, beautiful music to all those that are able to listen. And I just think that you're giving all of those things and representing the culture in you yourself is an amazing entity, and you're just all about support and love and dreaming big and standing behind those dreams. So I'm just beyond happy to have the opportunity to have had the opportunity to sit and talk with you today. So thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you.
So let's go to our quote, Kelly, because I just think this quote really, really, really set the groundwork for us today. And so our quote was, I wish falling in love had traffic lights too, so that I would know if I should go for it, slow down, or just quit. And that quote came from Love Quote Messages. And like I said, that quote just painted the picture that ends an amazing conversation with you, Kelly. So thank you so much for sharing your gift with us today, Kelly. Happy birthday. And like I said, we are keeping our eye on you because you are a light that, let me tell you, everybody is going to want to see.
Thank
And
you.
it's good
Thank
stuff.
you.
So enjoy your birthday and eat lots of cake for me because I'm not eating cake anymore.
Ooh, I am so sorry, but I'm gonna give me a slice of cake,
As you should. Birthday, beautiful birthday lady. So thanks again, Kelly Morgan, and we will be talking to you, keeping up with you, and enjoy your birthday. And we'll be talking soon.
Talk soon.
All righty. Thanks so much, family, for tuning in to Rappers in My Backyard, the podcast that stays lit. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell. That's how you find out about exciting guests like Kelly Morgan, and also to stay with the podcast that loves staying litty. Also, you guys, make sure you check out our website at www.rappersinmybackyard.com so you can sign up for our newsletter and also be well informed there as well. And again, I'd like to say thank you to our special guests, a light, a love, and just a genuine great person, Kelly Morgan, especially on her birthday. What a beautiful spirit. And you guys know that I can't wait until next week to talk, express, relate, connect with you. So take care. We rap about relationships, entertainment, and music. You heard?